The starting point in human design is your energy type. We're actually all built to function very differently, with different skills and different ways that our energy works. So we need to align with that rather than do things the way that the world tells us we need to do things. When we do, we create success and happiness with so much more ease. And it's more enjoyable because it's the way our souls actually crave doing life. Your energy type tells you how you're built to operate, and it's arguably the most important aspect of your design. Your energy type is what we call a manifesting generator. Let's get into what that means. Manifesting generators are multi-passionate people. You have various passions and are meant to do many varied things in one lifetime. However, we live in a world that tells you that in order to be happy or successful, you have to choose one lane and stay within it, which is just not true for you. Everything that sparks a passion inside you is trying to get you to follow it. And if you do, it leads you right to everything you desire. Your challenge is to defy what society tells us about how to become happy and successful and show us a new way of doing it. And MG's gift to the world is to break us out of the boxes we live our lives in and expand our perspective on what's possible. You're here to chart a previously unseen life path. MGs aren't the kind of people who decide they want to be accountants at age 18 and then do it for the rest of their lives. Life, or the universe, will push an MG to explore in many different directions because it wants you to create your own unique blend of passions and turn it into a totally new life path that hasn't been seen or done yet. So this could mean you either switch to a totally new career at least one point in your life, you have many different passions and side hustles going at a time, or that you fuse seemingly unrelated things into one career. Just because no one's done it before doesn't mean you can't create it, and in fact it's probably why you have to do it. MGs are quick to master new things. When first exploring a passion, you get this surge of mastery so that you can quickly pick up a skill or lesson that will serve you further down the line. For this reason, it's not necessary for you to finish what you started or to see something through to the end always. Even if you don't know how that lesson or skill will come in handy, trust that it will make sense later. You've been conditioned to put yourself in a box so that the world can understand you and know where you're headed, which makes everyone more comfortable. But your challenge is to defy the pressure to be able to explain where you're going and be okay with the not knowing. When you do this, it blows open the possibilities of what the universe can then send you. Turn the sense of unknown into a sense of wonder and discovery. Your path is not linear, so it can't be understood before it unfolds. Whenever you feel hesitant or afraid of this unknown, realize that this afraidness only comes because you were conditioned to think that the known is better, safer, or more of a sure thing. But the real sure thing is that you'll always know how to get the most fulfilling result when you choose your inside passion over the limited how-tos from the outside world. It's like the universe implanted your own how-to inside you. On a soul level, you actually love the unknown because that's what makes life feel like an adventure that surprises and delights you as you live it. Think about it. Why would you come here if you already knew exactly how everything was going to pan out? And when you start to love that way of doing life yourself, you show everyone else that this is the way that we're all craving to live life. You just have to be stronger than any of us are willing to be, and stronger than the voices that try to keep you in the old way. You're here to have more faith in what could be than in what already is. As an MG, your energy is spontaneous and in the moment. It can be difficult to decide what will excite you in the future since you're so multi-directional. You can only really tell what's exciting to you today, which may well change, so try not to say yes to too many things in your future. This can be difficult as we live in a world that values making plans, commitments, sticking to things, and knowing what you want. But that's just not the way you're built to do things. Do things you actually want to do. Your passion and desires are signposts showing you what the universe wants you to put your energy and attention into. Your wants are not random, and following them is the highest service you can do in the world. When you do something that excites you, big or small, you get given more energy so you can keep doing that thing. That's the universe's way of saying it wants you to carry on doing that thing. You can probably think of a time in your life when you were doing something you loved so much it gave you an influx of energy that just carried you effortlessly. But when you're doing something that doesn't excite you, you feel flat and uninspired. That's life's way of telling you that you're not meant to be doing that thing. Use your engine on the right things. You're hyper capable. It's just the way you were built so you could live out this multi-passionate life. But just because you can do everything, it doesn't mean that you should do everything, especially not doing everything for everyone else. You're meant to fill your plate up with things you enjoy and not just anything at all. It's actually better to say no to some things and temporarily have less going on, because that will leave room for more of the things you do want to come in. There's a huge difference between having a full plate of things that feed you and filling your plate just for the sake of it. So, manifesting generator, give yourself the permission to have the most unrealistically good, full life, because that's what you came here to show us. Gut intuition. The gut is about desire. It knows when it wants something and it knows when it doesn't. It's not based in logic and it can't be explained. When life sends you something it wants you to do, you'll feel a rush of excitement through your whole body. This is your cue to say yes to it and to pursue it. These visceral, physical pulls you feel towards things are the universe's way of showing you that those things are the right decision. Now, the gut is black and white. It doesn't know maybe. So you'll either feel, yes, I want it, or if you're not meant to do it, you can feel anything from strongly repel to just meh. If something lights you up when you first come across it, that's your way of knowing you're meant to be doing it. You will literally feel your body respond to something before you've processed it mentally. You'll feel your body get revved up, or you may perk up, make involuntary sounds that express interest and excitement, or just feel that feeling of wanting that thing. Trust your wants. Society has told us that it's bad to want things, to desire things. We've been told it's better to go for things that make logical sense, rather than just because we want them. But for you, the wanting is your sacred sign that will never lead you the wrong way. Learning to trust your physical attraction to something or your repulsion to it will eliminate so much confusion and light the path ahead of you with so much clarity and simplicity. Making decisions easier. Since the gut speaks a language of yes and no, black and white, it's so challenging for your gut to give you answers to big open-ended questions like, what's my purpose? Or even, where do I want to go for dinner? It needs options to be put in front of it that it can then react to. So try asking things like, does a career in fitness sound good to me, yes or no? Or would I prefer sushi or Thai tonight? If someone is asking you an open-ended question, you can always run through the options in your head, asking yourself these yes or no questions. Or have the people close to you ask the questions differently to ensure smoother communication between you. When you can't tell what your gut's saying. If you're ever feeling hesitant or mixed, it's either because A, your gut has spoken, but for some reason you're not comfortable with that response. This is when your gut directly opposes your conditioning and they're at odds. In this situation, you don't always have to act on your gut, at least not in the beginning, but just acknowledge what the gut is saying. When you pay attention to what it was saying, in hindsight, you'll start to see that it was right, which will make it easier to eventually follow the gut. You'll build up a bank of evidence to show you that the gut was better than the oh buts and the what ifs. It's like you turn the volume up on your gut and down on your conditioning and fears bit by bit so that following your gut becomes your new default pattern. Or B, you're overriding what the gut is telling you by thinking about it in your mind. Sometimes you can't feel your physical wants because logic has been so drummed into us that it's the voice we hear the loudest. We've been taught the mind should be in charge of all our life decisions, but the mind can only conceive of what it already knows. Whereas the body is leading you towards possibilities that you might not even be able to fathom, but that are so much more fulfilling and aligned. Trust that the only way you can create a life on joy is by following your joy on the way there. In order to make the right decisions, you don't need to know why you gravitate towards certain things and not to others. You just need to experiment with following that more, even when you have no idea how it gets you closer to your dream life. The more you practice it, the more you'll see the tangible results in your own life, and then it becomes easier and easier to follow that gut over time. Your personality is a regal authority figure, also known as a 4-6. The first number describes the way you see yourself, and the second number is the way others see you. It actually serves us to have our own internal world that's not so obvious to others, and an external side of us for the physical world. Let's get into each one and how they come together to form your full personality. 4. The people person. In your mind, your life is oriented and measured by the people in it. You're gifted at bonding with people for this reason and have a sense of who is right for you to spend time with. For you, the saying is really true. The quality of your life is determined by the quality of your relationships. It's through the connections you make that the universe will send you all the opportunities you desire. So the more you create connections that are real and authentic to your essence, the better fit the opportunities will be that come your way. Don't entertain relationships that don't align with you, as everything that comes through them will only pull you off your path rather than closer to it. Don't be afraid to be a little closed off or disinterested in those that you don't resonate with. The people you love, you really love, and the rest you can easily go without. It's not that they're bad people, they're just not right for you, and you're not designed to spend time with just anybody. Once you start to honor that and don't judge it as being closed, all the support and opportunities you're designed to have in life will come to you. Who you enjoy hanging around is who you're meant to hang around. It's not by accident. So don't question why you're drawn to some and not to others. A huge milestone in your life comes when you really feel like you found your people. And since you already know the social situations you're meant for, don't judge yourself for being inflexible when a social situation doesn't appeal to you. 6. The wise sage. The sage is someone who's born with innate wisdom. You come into this world already wise to life. But for your first 30 years, your connection to your inner wisdom takes a back seat as you try to establish yourself, your goals, and your direction in life. You experiment with putting your energy into lots of different places, people, and opportunities, and this is an important process. But as you come to the end of your 20s, you usually want to be more selective about what you put your energy into because you know what will reap the rewards you want and what won't. You start to want to make things feel a little bit more peaceful and settled for yourself, keeping all the good parts of life that you acquired and getting rid of the rest, which is now just noise to you that pulls you out of yourself. It's usually at this time in your life that you realize, wow, I actually am really wise and intuitive, and I don't need to look outside of myself so much as I used to. The path of the sage is about not getting caught up in the external world and coming back to your relationship with yourself and relying on that as your source of wisdom from within, rather than giving your power or validation to others. The journey of the sage is that others are meant to see you as a role model, but you must be the first person to see yourself that way in order for that to happen. You will always feel insecure whenever you're placing too much focus on what others are doing and thinking. But when you feel settled in yourself and tune out the noise, you'll reestablish that connection to your natural wisdom. This wisdom is helpful, of course, for your own life, but it's also imperative for the way that you'll be guiding, sharing, and showing up for others. As long as you create time and space to hear what you already know, you will naturally be seen as someone who others look up to for guidance and wisdom. When the 4 and the 6 come together. In your tribe of people, you're usually the central figure, influencing, directing, and organizing everybody else. You're often holding court without even trying, and you may find that social situations revolve around you. In this way, you foster togetherness, which is an important value to you. Family and friends are everything to you. When you're doing it with the right consciousness, being the king or queen of your circle is a good thing, as it allows you to spread what you came here to spread, which is your warmth, magnanimity, and wisdom. The world has told you that you have to do things with your head, but your big strength is your huge heart, and directing people with your heart is very different to controlling them with your head. In fact, your main job in life is to open up the heart because that's where your wisdom comes from. This can be tricky for you because you're so good at controlling things using your head. And opening the heart is scary to you because you love people so much that you're terrified of rejection. It's only when you actually show this big heart and vulnerability that people will love you actually even more for it. But when you're disconnected from your heart or pretend you don't have it, you may find yourself judging, pushing away, ignoring, or rejecting others before they can reject you. One of the main lessons you're here to learn is that you don't need to have such a tight grip on things for situations to work out well and in your favor. As much as you are this director figure, you need to equally learn that you can trust and rely on others as well, and you'll never be able to see what others can do for you if you're always the one insisting on doing everything. For as long as you insist on doing everything, this will only confirm your fears that you can't fully trust or rely on other people. This tight grip can cause mental exhaustion and anxiety. The only way out of this is to quit masterminding everything and just to let life happen. The only way you can really trust life is to try letting go and see that it supports you anyway. The more evidence you build up of life sorting itself out, the more you will trust. And then you'll be free to just be that regal authority figure from a place of joy and sharing your gifts, rather than any misplaced fears or need for control. 4/6s often try to control people because they don't trust that everything will work out okay if they don't. Even though you're born wise, the first 30 years of your life is still full of ups and downs, mostly to do with people. Those relationships are your lessons in life. The main thing you have to make sure you don't do is let those experiences close down your heart for fear of failure and being hurt. Once you hit your Saturn return at around age 28 to 30, if you've gleaned wisdom from your experiences, your life will be able to settle down a little. Look back on those experiences with appreciation and thanks, and that will help keep your heart open. Be aware that just because you're right about most things, it doesn't mean that you're right about everything. It's okay to look to others for guidance sometimes. Your regal air is natural to you, and there's nothing you have to do to get it, so relax into it. You don't need to overperform, seek attention, or hide from attention. You are here to balance the wisdom of your head with the wisdom of your heart, and when you do, you crack us open in hearts and minds too, in whatever you do. Your strategy is the way you make things happen in your life, how you go about making your dream life real, how you manifest. The world has taught us that we have to push and force things to happen, but you have a unique way of drawing your dreams to you that will feel much more easeful and fun. Plus, it will actually get you so much quicker results when you do it because you're doing it in the way that you're meant to be doing it. Your strategy is responding. The universe is constantly sending you clues and signs of what to do based on what excites you, gives you that full body yes, and what doesn't. Responding is about only doing things that come across your path that you can literally feel that full body yes to. When something is meant for you, your gut will literally respond to it. You will feel physically drawn to that thing. Think of life as one big buffet. It's full of ideas and suggestions and options that might please you. Responding is noticing all the things you see and come across that make you think, I like that, or I want that, or I wish I could have that. And if you do like it and want it, say yes to it. Go do it, create it for yourself, bring more of it into your life, because doing it is what the universe wants you to do next. These could be direct, like opportunities and invites that come your way, or indirect, like things you see around you, things you see other people doing, what you see on social media, or characters on TV shows. They're all there on purpose to lead you right to your purpose. The answers are all around you. You don't have to figure out what you want. It's the outside world that will give you the clues of what you're into or not, based on how you respond to it. You're not meant to just know what you want out of thin air. You have to have an outside stimulus to respond to. You don't have to push, force, or make it happen. You just have to fully throw your energy into the things that your gut responds to and not do the things that don't. And when you're open, the universe will put the things that are meant for you right in front of your eyes. The key to your dream life is not only saying yes to things that light you up, but also saying no to things that don't. When you say no to the things that don't, you actually create more space for the potential yeses to come in. Your decisions are black and white. It's important for you to know that your gut is black and white. It doesn't do gray area. So for you, you're either excited about it or you're not. Unless you feel a full body yes, the answer is actually no. You do not deal in maybes. Because the gut is black and white, it also doesn't deal in open-ended questions. So if you've asked yourself before, what lights me up? Don't be surprised if your gut hasn't come up with the answer. But if you ask yourself, does forecasting light me up? Does event planning light me up? Does organization light me up? You'll definitely know the answer to that. You can use the this or that, yes or no questions to direct you with anything in life, whether big or small. So instead of asking yourself what takeout you feel for dinner tonight, ask yourself if you want sushi or Mexican. The more you can make sure that everything in your life is there because it gives you that hell yes response, the more aligned you become. The universe makes you respond yes to the things it wants you to do. The universe doesn't see the difference between you saying yes to the takeout that lights you up and yes to the job that lights you up. Following your lit upness will always create more lit upness. What to do when it feels like life isn't sending you things to respond to. Take a look around your life and ask if each thing in it lights you up or not. If it doesn't, start by just being honest with yourself about it, as that will align you to the truth of how you feel. And from there, the universe is clear on your feelings, so it can swoop in and start to help you by putting new opportunities and clues on your path. The more you get rid of around you that doesn't light you up, the more space you will have to notice things that might. It's like you give yourself a bigger pair of glasses with which to see. And then start to look around at whatever else is going on in the world around you and keep asking your gut, would this be exciting to you if you had it? And then pursue those wants. Put energy into bringing them into your own life. If you get a hell yes, you have full permission to funnel all your life force into it. Always trust the feeling of wanting as a good thing because it's pointing you right towards the life you're supposed to have. Your sign is the feeling you have when you're living your design. It's a no-fail way that the universe can signal to you that you're on the right track. When you're using your energy correctly, you will always feel your sign come up in your life. So you never have to do any guesswork to know whether you're in alignment or not. Your sign will be there to show you. Your sign is satisfaction. Satisfaction is feeling lit up by life. This is that feeling you get when you're living a full life, one where each day is filled with things that please you, big and small, that you have consciously chosen. Like your perfect coffee in the morning, the buzz in your work life, a warm cuddle with your loved ones, the tennis game that makes you feel alive, and the good kind of crazy days that make you feel invigorated. When you string these moments together where you feel so content in each, you get to the end of your day and you can't help but let out like a good kind of satisfied sigh. One that means you've used your energy up in a good way today. It brought back some awesome returns and you're fully ready to check out, hit the pillow, and be so psyched to do it all over again tomorrow. The not self is the feeling we get whenever we're not living our design. Life gives you this not self feeling so that you can always tell when you're getting off track, so that you can then redirect quickly back to using your energy the way that you're meant to. Your not self is frustration. If you're living your design, saying yes to things that light you up and no to the things that don't, you create a steady flow of excitement in your life, which then magnetizes people and opportunities to you. The opposite of energy flowing is energy stagnating. This creates a feeling of being stuck and not being able to move forward in things even if you try. This is the true definition of frustration: attempting or reaching for something but it not happening. Frustration can show up as literal frustration or irritation, feeling stuck, feeling uninspired, blah, or incapable. This is always a sign showing you that you have the power to change your situation by changing one of your thoughts or behaviors around this situation. Here's how frustration can look in your thoughts. Nothing is happening. This is not going the way I want. I'm so bored. I'm so over this. I'm being made or forced to do this, but I don't want to. Thinking, I have all these obligations and maybe they're starting to weigh heavy on me. I want to shake them off and be free. I feel like I'm having the life sucked out of me. I'm feeling pulled in all these different directions. It seems like everyone else is doing what they love, but nothing is coming to me, or I can't seem to do that. I should be able to create happiness, but I just can't. I have no energy to do what I dream of. What's the point of all of this? Why does it feel like I'm walking through mud and taking so much effort to get things going? Or simply, I'm just so tired. Remember that this is not your true self. This is your not self, aka life showing you that it's time to live your design a little bit more, which will get you right back into your sign, which is satisfaction. You are here to be lit up and excited by life. This is your real nature, and whenever you see your not self, you can always rise higher into the life you really want to have by turning it around. Specific manifesting. Manifesting refers to your way of bringing things you want into your reality. You're designed to manifest in a specific way, which means things come to you quickest when you're detailed and clear about exactly what you want. For example, if you know you want a house with a front porch, marble kitchen countertops, and in a specific area of town, don't ignore those things. Those details aren't just in your mind for no reason. The universe is dropping them there as a sign guiding you to what's right for you. So when you see that house that meets all the criteria, you'll know it's the house you're meant to take. Embrace and own the specifics. Don't ever think this way of being is picky, high maintenance, or unrealistic. The universe gave you that specific vision to help guide you towards all the things that are meant for you. So don't question what comes to you and follow it, trusting that there's a rhyme and a reason for it all. Sometimes the things you want are not the end, they're just the means. So for example, you could be led to your dream home because you're meant to move in next door to the person that will change your life. There's nothing inherently wrong or bad about knowing exactly what you want and being unafraid to ask for it. If your dream is luxurious and over the top, there's nothing wrong with the bigness of your desires. If they're authentically what you want, they are right. It's just as easy for the universe to create a 5-bedroom mansion as it is for it to create a coin on the street. It's only our limited human minds that get in the way. Tools for getting specific. For someone like you, activities like doing a vision board or writing down a list of things you want will work for you if you're called to do them. If you just want to think about something in your mind, that's fine too. Just listen to the voice inside you that adds, I'd like to pay no more than $150 for it, or any other specific details that just come to you naturally. You don't have to fill in all the details, just the details that naturally occur to you. All you need are your genuine preferences, nothing more, nothing less. Build evidence. It's always best to start manifesting things you currently believe you can have, no matter how small. And when you see them come into your life, it will be easier for you to start asking for slightly bigger things and then even bigger things. It's just like flexing a muscle, where you have to train it with the baby weights first. The more evidence you can build of things you brought into your own life, the easier it becomes to believe that you can have literally anything you can conceive of, as long as you get clear on what you want. Every human lifetime has a different theme. Your life theme describes the main energy you're meant to bring into everything you do. It's called a theme because it's meant to run through all the areas of your life. The same mix of skills and essence will bring you success and alignment, whether you're at home, with friends, at work, in the grocery store. When you live according to your life theme, that's when you know you're on the road to your purpose. So as far as the universe is concerned, your purpose isn't just achieved at work. The universe doesn't compartmentalize like that. It wants to see you sharing your specific essence everywhere you go. When you bring your essence to the table, you signal to the universe and to people around you that you're being who you're meant to be. This is when people gravitate towards you the most, when opportunities and synchronicities flood to you, because you're simply being the person you came here to be. So all the good things that are meant for you finally fit. Let's get into the theme of your life. The right angle cross of the vessel of love, 3. To learn how to bring love and loving energy into your life and towards others. You came here to be in love with life itself. That's a cliche phrase, so let's break down what that means. It means seeing life or the universe in and behind everything around you. We're trained to see everything in life as just objects, where in reality, the universe is using them, your life situations, your body, your possessions, your people in your life, as a way to get through to you and show you it's in everything, trying to interact with you. When you see that God, divine, universe, whatever you call it, is all around you, supporting you, helping you, you'll feel so much more safe to just relax into your body and feel everything. Feel your body, be connected to all the touches, tastes, and smells around you, and celebrate the sensory experience of being alive. Take it all in. You're here to be the living, breathing example of this so that other people connect to that truth too. And when you live your life remembering this, it will also make you so much more happy to be alive. Your digestion is what we call open taste in human design. It's healthy for you to eat the same meals over and over again. This is because you have an older digestive system that's based on when people had no choice but to eat seasonally and locally. So they ate pretty much the same foods every day until the seasons changed. They thrived off having the same breakfast, lunch, and dinner day in, day out, and it's the same for you. So don't listen to the dieting industry that tells you that you have to include tons of variety to be healthy. That's actually unhealthy for you. If you feel like you want to eat sushi every night of your life, that's your innate digestion speaking to you. Honor it. Test out new foods. Your taste buds can instantly recognize if a food is good for you to add into your routine or not. So it's good to be open to trying new dishes, to take a bite or two and notice how you respond to them. When you take a bite of something and like it, that's when your rotation of foods will usually change, because you'll go through a phase of wanting that same food over and over and end up subbing something else out for it. Allow yourself to go through these phases of food where you just can't get enough of something for months on end. This frees up a lot of energy in your body, but also in your brain. And when your brain is unburdened, it's free to be in its genius. Genius naturally happens when we get out of the way. Eating patterns. Your brain is very active, so it uses up a lot of your daily calorie intake. If you want to fast, be sure not to undereat, simply for the reason that when you do, it hinders the development of your genius for that day. You'll also do well eating consistently, meaning that your food regime should look the same or similar from one day to the next. So for example, you might decide a fruit-based breakfast works well for you. Aim to do that every morning and at around the same kind of time. Consistency for you actually eliminates stress and overthinking. So when you automate it, it gives you freedom for your brain to do the things that actually move your life forward. Your strongest sense in human design is outer vision, which means you're here to make life more beautiful. Of all the 6 senses, each one of us has one that's dominant. It's the sense that when heightened makes you feel most alive. It's kind of like your love language with the world. Each sense has its own language, and when you speak your language, people receive your gifts most deeply. It makes whatever you do more effective and valuable. You also absorb the information from the outside world the best when you're taking it in through that sense. With outer vision as your strongest sense, aesthetics and beauty are your language. They're what really enhances your own life and also the medium through which you enhance other people's lives. No matter what job or role you're in, you'll be the most valuable and appreciated when you're bringing visuals into it. With your gifts. So whatever gifts you have, you're meant to do them through a filter of making our world more beautiful. If you're designing a new software system, make sure that it's one that's visually appealing. If you're teaching people about a specialized subject, draw it out instead of discuss it. Illustrate your points. Write out the key words. Don't ever feel guilty or shallow for this quality of yours, because what we all want is to live a beautiful life. When you make life more beautiful, you make it more enjoyable. You can heal people by being a stylist. You can transform someone's view of life by making their home more visually appealing. You take in information primarily through your eyes. Pay attention to what speaks to you visually, because what does speak to you for a reason. So trust what you're drawn to and follow it. You've been made to be attracted to it on purpose. They say don't judge a book by its cover, but for you, you can see the energies behind it all when you look at the cover, so it's not so bad to look. You're downloading all the information you need just by using your eyes. In your personal life, take time to make your life more like a movie and less mundane. Use your fancy coffee cup every day. Lounge around the house in a pretty kimono instead of sweats. Put lots of shower gel in your bath so that you don't just have a bubble bath, you have one that overflows with bubbles. These little details add to your happiness and fulfillment, so listen to whatever your little details are. Whenever you need to come back to you, draw or color or make something visual, do a creative arts project for fun. You love it when your loved ones literally improve your life. So things like buying flowers for the home or removing the trash means so much to you because they're helping hone your spidey sense. Setting up your life. Putting time into things like tidying your space or putting on makeup before you work are important because they help you get into your zone of genius. It's like giving your body a tune-up so it's primed to concentrate and think clearly. Because you absorb and process information through the visual plane, your visual plane needs to be as clear and uncluttered as possible. With eating. Before you eat, make sure your food looks visually appealing to you. That could mean taking the time to put your food on a pretty plate instead of eating out of a container, or dusting your latte with a dash of cinnamon. This will prime your system to receive the food in the best way possible. You can tell if a food is good for you to eat just by looking at it. Remember, you're getting all the intel you need on the energies behind it. So instead of making a strict shopping list, just go to the store and see what looks good sometimes. Look at what other people are eating in the restaurant before deciding what you want yourself. Get all the colors of the rainbow on your plate. In short, when you make your own life more beautiful, you make other people's lives more beautiful too. And the beauty is just really a Trojan horse for people to more deeply receive the bigger gifts contained within it. How your emotions function. You're what we call a non-emotional in human design. Being non-emotional means that your natural state is cool, calm, and collected. You only feel things when something is happening around you that makes you feel a certain way. You might think, well, isn't this the case for everyone? And the answer is no. 50% of the population live their lives on highs and lows that have nothing to do with what's actually going on in the world around them. It's like their background emotional setting goes up and down, where yours is steady. Non-emotionals are experts at picking up on what others are feeling. Because you don't have background emotions of your own, and because you are naturally supposed to be a calm lake, you can easily sense emotional ripples from the outside world. Let's say someone walks into the room and they are sad, at a level 2 out of 10. You'll easily pick up on this and it will feel like a 6 to you because it's such a contrast to your normal state. Ideally, you want to use this as your spidey sense because picking up on other people's emotions can give you so much information, make you so tuned into the situation, and make you empathetic. You want to tune into what you're picking up on without taking it on yourself or letting it sway your own calmness. But often, non-emotionals either pick up on everything and take it on themselves, or they shut themselves off from even picking up any emotions in the first place. So, you either get called too emotional or not emotional enough. When a non-emotional is overly attached to feelings that come over them from the outside world, they mistake those feelings as being their own and end up coming across as very emotional themselves. So many non-emotionals get called emotional by other people in their life because they're simply reflecting and magnifying everything that they're picking up on. The trick is to detach yourself from what you pick up on. There's always a reason why you might feel what you feel. So when you feel thrown off your calm center, ask, where or who did I pick this up from? This helps you use what you're picking up on to become wise about what's going on in the world around you, whilst also creating some space between you and the emotion. Remember, you are not the emotion. In contrast, when a non-emotional has been taught to totally disconnect from feelings, it can make them feel very stoic and unemotional. To be clear, non-emotionals still have emotions, so it's important that they recognize those, and important that they tune into the emotions of others because it contains important information that's meant to make them wiser about life and about people. As a non-emotional, you can read people's states very well. Don't shut that gift off by believing that feeling is weak or bad. Sensing other people's emotions is a useful skill. When you're able to clearly read other people's states, you know when is a good time to be around them or not, say something or not, bring up the thing you wanted to say or not. You can also help them become more aware of how they're feeling. Remember that if someone is feeling that 2 out of 10 anger, they might not even be aware of it, whereas when you sense it in a 6 out of 10 way, you can be their mirror. Tuning into other people allows you to navigate relationships with those people in a much wiser way. Just to explain the contrast, emotionals often have poor visibility on how they're feeling, let alone how others are feeling, because they're so mired in their own feelings. It's often difficult to step out of them. They need non-emotionals like you to show them and help them navigate. Clarity is in the now. Since you are that clear lake, it's very easy for you to see things as they are. However, 50% of the world is emotional, meaning that their vision can be colored by the mood they're in, so they can't always see so objectively. With all the emotionals in your life, remember that they won't have clarity in the now moment. It's only when they've settled into a relatively neutral mood that they can see things as they are. So just remember that it takes them more time to be clear on their thoughts and feelings, even though it's easy for you. Emptying out. You're a sonar picking up on so many things over the course of the day. In order to use this non-emotional gift properly, you need to be aware of all the signals you've absorbed from others over the course of the day so that you can flush them out and stay that clear sonar, unencumbered by emotional interference from the outside world. Whenever you feel thrown into some emotion or reaction, whenever you get frustrated or down or overly swept up in any emotion, whether high or low, remind yourself that it's just what you're experiencing because of your circumstances. It's not you. You're either picking up on other people's emotions, in which case they're not yours to hold on to, or you're feeling a certain way because a life situation has made you feel that, and that's completely normal. Either way, there's no need to attach yourself to those emotions so deeply. Create this separation in your mind of you and the feelings so that everything you pick up on doesn't stick around and continue to affect you. Let it wash over you and leave just as quickly as it came so that you can always return easily to your natural state without any extra stuff. We call this emptying out.